So we wanted you to do the intro, Joe.
Sure. Okay, ready? Hi, I'm Joe Hockey, former ambassador, former treasurer, former member of parliament, but just a small businessman doing my little bit in the United States trying to earn a buck. And I'm with my old mate, Mark Bouris. He can learn a thing or two from me.
I love it. Yes, that's it. You just nailed it.
Americans used to say to me, well, you know, what are Australians like? I'd say, well, we're just like Californians, except we like America. And they all get that, right? Because Californians are big critics of the rest of America. They think they're a separate country, of course. And in many ways, every part of America is different. You know, I still remember the first dinner party we had when I was ambassador. We had the National Cathedral Choir fundraiser. This was a hangover fundraiser that Kim Beazley left me to hold. And, you know, the average age was about 65. Maybe, no, I'm exaggerating. Would have been about 80, right? Something like that, right? They were an older group. And somehow we got into a conversation about guns. And there was one man sitting next to me at the table. And you know, I said, well, look, I just don't understand America's gun culture. And this man next to me, who was a Virginian, he described himself as a Virginian rather than American. And he said, look, I carry a gun everywhere with me at all times, including right now. And he's sitting at the dinner table, right? My dinner table in the ambassador's residence, the Australian ambassador. And my wife was down the end of the table, and I could see her eyes just about to explode out of her head, and she's looking up towards the kids' bedrooms. And it was just, oh, you know, like, what the hell, right? And there'd been a quadruple murder just around the corner only a few months before we got there. Terrible quadruple murder. And we had violence, you know, in and around the residence, and it was in the best part of Washington. So, you know, and one FBI agent said to me, he said, you know, the safest place I feel in America is in Texas because I know everyone has a gun. He said, but if I'm in other parts, you know, and if I'm pulling over a car, you're walking up to a car. He said, it's, you know, you got your heart in your hands every time you walk up to the driver's side, you know, of the car. So it's an entirely different culture on something where Australians have a settled position.
Well, Joe, what do Americans think then of Australia's culture? I mean, what do they think of us? I mean, do they think of us all as Paul Hogan or?
No, they love us. There is a deep-seated affection for Australia and everything Australian. I mean, it's, you know, I find it quite grating seeing ads on television talking about, you know, Australian Steakhouse, and apparently no Australians involved in it at all, but it's a franchise all through America. It's selling, you know, Australian Outback Steakhouse or something. It's called something like that. Or there's, you know, an Australian palm oil or something that is meant to, you know, make you 40 pounds lighter and take 20 years off your life. And I see that on TV. And there's all these reflections on Australia because when I was tourism minister in Australia, I dealt with the head of American Express here in the United States, a guy, Ken Chino, like a legend in financial circles. And he said to me, every single year they surveyed American Express cardholders, and the most desired travel destination in the world for Americans was Australia. If time and money were no impediment, Australia was the number one. And that's still the case today. Everyone wants to go to Australia. They just don't get the time and they might not have the money.